I'd like to call this meeting of the Palmdale Aerospace Board of Directors to order. We have a roll call.
Patrick Noel, Justin Knowles, I'm sorry. Dennis Trujillo,
Present.
Nardi Lopez. Ellen McIsaac here. Patrick Brophy,
Here.
Janet Simmons,
Present.
David Lujan.
President. You have a turn?
We have a forum.
You have a forum. Thank you. Roseanne, could you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
Yes.
Thank you.
Put your right hand on your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yes, we got public comments that are not in the agenda. Steve? How do you pronounce your last name?
DeMarzio.
There you go.
Good evening, Board, Superintendent Lynch, and staff. My name is Steve DeMarzio. I currently serve as a trustee on the West Side Union School District on the west side of town. I'm also the current president of the Antelope Valley School Board Association. But the reason I'm here tonight is to talk about Tech Force Foundation. So Tech Force, I gave you a flyer, I got a 20-minute presentation, but I'm going to limit this to 3 minutes just orally. So this is a foundation, it's nonprofit with mission to champion all students to and through the education and careers of professional technicians. Basically, we act as the interface between students, working technicians, and industry. So there's a couple of ways we can do it. You can read through the flyer. It's to inspire. So basic, we want students 13 years and older to join our network. That gives them all the tools at their disposal at techforce.org, which is in the flyer as well. So there is online videos to work on aviation. So basically it's a transportation field. So we concentrate on the transportation field. And recently we've gone into aviation because we realized the field, because it originally grew out of UTI, the Aviation Universal Technical Institute. And now we've expanded. It's a national foundation based out of Arizona, and we've gone into aviation as well. We also do support. This is the big thing. We provide scholarships, but to access the scholarships, they're at-need scholarships. You need to join the network. So, and then there are connections where aviation companies or other companies, they can post jobs and students can build their resumes and apply jobs online. So that's the basic thing about Tech Force. So some things locally is aviation jobs. So, you know, the big thing, I work for Lockheed as well. So the big thing is there's plenty of jobs. The problem I see is people come, they work, and then they decide to move on to outside the area because they're not familiar or comfortable living in the Mojave Desert. So your guys' mission, aerospace is in your name, is to attract ones that stay local, because there are plenty of jobs. And if you were at the AVSBA dinner meeting, it was Matt Wilheim talked about all the jobs in Aerospace Valley from Northrop Grumman to Boeing to Lockheed Martin. I mean, there are jobs aplenty, and it's just a matter of getting there and getting there, applying and staying in the area, because, you know, with them move on now we got to backfill it. So other things is, so we also publish a supply and demand report every year. I am now a contributor, so they rope me into that. So, and what's interesting is aviation. So who do you think, I'm just going to read from this, is the largest, graduate the largest number of aviation and avionics technicians nationwide? Antelope Valley College. They outdo Embry-Riddle. They outdo the ones that specialize that, and they've done it 2 years in a row since we began tracking it. So the campus at Foxfield, I haven't visited yet. I think it's a wonderful campus. We've seen a video on it. I'd love to see it in person, because I think, you know, beating everyone nationwide, I think is great.
All right, Steve, that's it, unless we can
Is that
give
3
him another
minutes?
minute? You guys okay, give him another minute?
Sure.
Yeah? Yeah?
Okay, that went really fast. I apologize, right? So the other thing is so the other things, is that there's when they join the network, there's a contest. So there's a points base. They can access trips. They can access events. They can access actually contests. So for instance, we have the Tech Rocks Award. That's an annual contest. Now, a couple of years ago, there's 10 categories, including aviation. Guess who was one of the finalists for the Tech Rocks Award? It's one of the second-year graduates at ABC. So, you know, we have quite the base here, and we just need to grow the base and keep them here. So I would love to come back and give you a 20-minute presentation on more details. So we can have a question and answer period. I realize the public, I mean, this is a non-agenda item, so we can't engage in that. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we got monthly reports, Director of Special Education.
Thank you. Good evening, board. Some of the things you'll hear if you were at the Palmdale School District Board meeting last week, you'll hear some of the same things because they got to hear it first as opposed to you this month. So one of the main feature things is that how we went through SIM, how we went through that process and engaged our parents, gen ed teachers, and make sure that everyone had a voice in it. It was featured in the Still Networks newsletter this last month. That also has prompted the CDE to reach out, and we will be doing an impact video with them this week, and that will be featured on their website. So, and it really is about just how we activated our staff and our parents to become a large part of looking at that process and what we do. We did receive our designation letter from the CDE this on the 4th, and we have moved from targeted 2 to targeted 3. The difference in those, we are still, we're still in school age, which is CASP academic scores. The other part is a direct result of timelines. The good part about the timelines is that it will help because we've hired 3 new sped teachers that will be joining us here in the next couple weeks. So that was the hardest part, is when you're short. We've had a school psychologist that's been out. We've had open jobs. So having those filled will go a long way to making sure that timelines are where they're supposed to be. We're not radically out, but we're out enough that it was identified as an area. It doesn't change our process. Our SIM plan is the same. We continue to do the same work that we're doing with them. When it comes to, we're in the month of lottery. That is coming up here at the end of the month. We are ahead application wise by almost 150 compared to where we were sitting last year. So last year we were around 600. We had 750 when I reported to Palmdale. I think it's closer to 800 this morning. So when I talked to Maddie about it, also just kudos to all the folks that put on FTC this last weekend. Did a fantastic job of that. It was awesome. Had a really great time. Loved watching our kids compete and all the others as well.
Thank you. Director of Educational Services.
We have our dual enrollment courses started up this week, and tonight being the first night with those, so we're excited to have that get started. And our LCAP mid-year surveys went out today to all of our parents, TK through 12th grade, all of our staff, classified and certificated. Our students will get sent out on Monday because we want to give our parents a few days to do the opt-out clause if they chose not to. And the students participate now. The student one will only be for 5th through 12th grade. We'll use that information to help formulate out our LCAP for next week.
Director of Facilities, Maintenance and Operations.
Shortly after the fires hit in California, our insurance offerings decided they wanted to come and audit our fire systems. We did pass exemplary with no recommended changes. So that was great to hear. And they recommended us as a model campus for other campuses in California to follow for their fire prevention. Our food services department has worked steadily with a new representative of the Department of Public Health. Though we invited them on the campus, and that initial meeting with the new liaison went extremely well. And we continue that partnership with Public Health. And as well as we had our food services vendor here as well, discussing new opportunities for food menu items. Operationally, in both in tech and in maintenance, it's typical operations, focusing on events and supporting the needs across the academy. I think that's it.
Thank you. Chief, Business Officer.
Just a few things happening in the business office. We are working on second interim right now. I'm getting that all put back together. And I just wanted to share some of the professional development that is happening in the business office, because I think it's really important for everybody to know that we are actually doing a lot of training. For those you probably already know, I currently am enrolled in the CASBO is the California Association of Business Officials, and they do a lot of support for the business offices in schools and charter schools. So I'm currently in their CBO program. I'm also in the charter school CBO program. I'm also taking an AI course. And I'll be going to the CASBO conference coming up, I think in April. Tanya is also taking the CBO certification course with me. It's a 15-week course. And she's also will be attending the CASBO workshop with me. Marlon in our office, who does all of the payroll, her and Araceli from HR, they went down to Waco to attend a STIRS conference. And right now, both of them are enrolled in a 3-day payroll workshop through CASBO. So they're learning everything they can about payroll. Our accounts payable person, Kim, she currently, tomorrow will be taking a full day CASBO accounts payable basics class. And she also, because she but she posts a lot of stuff for ASB. She's reading the fixed manuals to get up to speed to make sure she understands everything about ASB. I have another person in the office, Angie, and she's actually participating in a CASBO monthly roundtable meeting for the things that she does at work. And that's what's happening in the business office. We're all very busy, training.
Thank you. No more classes, right? No more courses, right?
We'll see. I know, right?
The motion before us is the consent agenda. Do you have any discussions? No?
I move that we approve the
Do you have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Consent agenda passes. Thank you. Okay, informational session, presentations. First read, Mr. Gary Schatz.
All right, well, I am about to age myself, but it's okay, it's for the kids, so they say it's all right. Back in 1991, I was teaching Algebra 1 to my 8th grade students, and if they passed the course, then they got high school credit for that. They did not have to take Algebra 1 in 9th grade. Enter the Aerospace Academy, and we do not have that policy for our 8th graders. We're only gonna have a regular 8th grade Algebra 1 class right now. They take general 8 math / Algebra 1 honors. It does not meet our A2G requirements. So I put together this mathematics accelerated math placement policy for our middle school. They would take a placement test in order to get into the class, whether it be a 7th or 8th grader. If they passed well enough, they can get into Algebra 1. The next following our pathway would be geometry. If we end up somewhere along the line with the young Sheldon and we wouldn't want to hold them back, and they could actually get into Algebra 2, they follow along with their current pathway. If they are successful in the class, given an A, B, or C, then like our foreign language policy, then they would be able to get the high school credit, the one transcript, and then that would open up them as for 11th and 12th grade, that they would have more options. Currently, I know what happens for most of the kids, they take Algebra 1 in 9th grade, they take generally 10th grade would be geometry, 11th grade would be Algebra 2. That leaves you for 12th grade to take what you want to take: statistics, calculus AB, calculus BC, trigonometry. That's pretty tough to get up, cram all that in 1 year. So opening this up to our students who are ready, because not all students will be ready for it, but if they pass the course and get in, then that would open up to have them have it either a 10th or even 11th grade, where they would have some more options. If they get to that point in their high school years, they're like, no, I'm good. 4 math classes and I don't want to take it more. Then in 12th grade, that opens them up. They'll take another STEM elective that we have offered too. The plan is if we have like Spanish, I'm sorry, the foreign language policy, if we have just a handful of students that would go into the 9th grade class, let's say it's 8th grade, 3, 4, 5 students who qualify, they would go up into a 9th grade class. and be taught by the ninth grade teacher, just like the foreign language courses. If we have a full class, and maybe we have 30 students that qualify, then we would have that eighth grade teacher teach it using the exact same high school curriculum, using the same high school rigor that the teacher uses in ninth grade, and using the same assessments that could be used in high school. And that would qualify that student, if they pass successfully, to get their eighth grade requirements. So that is what the mathematics middle school credit policy is that you have in front of you. This is the first read. So if you have any feedback, please let me know and I'll look into that and bring it back to the board again for future vote.
Thank you, Gary. Same thing happened to me in '98. Second read, admission entry, I'm sorry,
Oh, was there a question?
no. Did you have a question?
So looking over this, so a kid in sixth grade would take an assessment to potentially start seventh grade in algebra 1.
At the end of sixth grade, so at the end of each school year.
Okay.
Unless you had a new student who came in, a month or two that come in, but traditionally your current students at the end of their school year. So you're at after sixth grade and take the test, if they qualify, they could be in seventh grade, take algebra.
What assessment are we using to say that they're ready for algebra 1?
The same ninth grade one we use right now for the ninth grade placement.
Okay, and so, okay, so it's not just on their CASP score of sixth grade, because that would, okay, so we got a separate one.
Yes, that, if you look in the thing, there's some things like, the teacher is on the fence, they got one, maybe missed by one, we can look at the CAP scores, oh, they're down on the CAP scores. Or who are the CAP scores we got here, they're probably not quite right. So it could be a thing that went way in there, but it's gonna be the placement test that was the bulk.
And this isn't is this our existing policy? We're just making sure they get credit, or is this?
We do not have this policy, this is a brand new policy.
Okay, so have we run this by math teachers, the math department?
I sent it to every sixth grade on up math teacher, and I sent it to all the counselors and all board administrators for them to get feedback.
Okay. 'Cause I'm thinking so, I taught math for a little bit here, and I've taught like seventh grade to 12th, so one of the things I'm looking at that sixth grader going in, if they got, if they get a C on that assessment, like they're barely getting in there and they get in that seventh grade. Are we setting them up? Because math is kind of cumulative in seventh grade here, then, okay, you get that C, you're just barely passing, get that B, you get to eighth grade geometry, and then you end up in, what I saw is people end up in calculus BC by their junior year. And maybe like there's no way to like turn off that path, because you're kind of going, you already started that accelerated route, unless you repeat a class, ends up being hard, like. So the standard of a sixth grader going in would be just being proficient on that test, or.
In your other policy, that's a board policy
Yeah.
that's posted on the website.
Yeah.
After a month of the school year, then the teacher does a reevaluation to see, is this where this student
Okay.
needs to be at?
So we can do that early on. I guess like from experience, like I talked to some students even this last weekend, former ones, like when students accelerated at that algebra 1 level, and then they're forced to do algebra 2 geometry and forced into calculus, it almost, by the time they got to college, they had experiences where they forgot the algebra stuff and they end up in like the algebra readiness class. And, or you take that gap in calculus, you're taking BC your junior year. And then if you want to go in engineering, you just forget some of that calculus because you had a year off. But are we taking into some of those considerations? Because if a kid can accelerate, I'm afraid of, from experience, seeing a lot of this stuff, and I don't talk with the teachers. Okay.
Is if we have people who start in algebra 1 in seventh grade and then are finishing out their junior year and have their senior year, maybe that's something that we can address with dual enrollment classes with ABC. Or ways to get them into that higher level math. Cause I mean, it's a STEM school, right? And a lot of those kids who are high performing in math are probably gonna continue on and be, like multivariable calculus or linear algebra or something. So, maybe we start to see a lot of students that are on that path that are gonna have the gap there last year. We create the solution and working with ABC to offer them the more advanced work.
That's better.
One of the things, one of the things that we talk, every 2 weeks we meet with Rosalind from ABC, or the lady in charge of doing well. And one of the things that we're up for is, in the future, is getting a calc class here. As a dual enrollment class, so.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, that's. We don't know who'll teach that.
Okay,
I like this personally. I think this is really useful. Where I grew up, it was pretty standard for students to take Algebra 1 in their 8th grade year if they were prepared for it, and then you end up finishing calculus every year. You're like college ready. And my guess is fewer students will test into Algebra 1 as 7th graders, like the end of the 6th grade year going to 7th, but I think if there's students who are developmentally ready to really plan it, especially with the resources that we have locally. I don't know how many it'll be.
I agree with you on, you're not gonna get a lot of sixth graders, but if we do have that young shelf, then why wouldn't we hold them back?
Alright.
That's
it. Any more questions? Okay, thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
Chris, Mr. Riley for the second read, admission and enrollment lottery.
Yeah, I'll just remind the board that some of the changes that were brought into the admissions enrollment and lottery portion of this, of the actual policy. It was updated to have the now, which is the TK start date, that has become the official time. So we no longer had to have the additional dates that were listed previously. We also have updated the actual preferences. So that way we have staff preference being the number one spot as opposed to sitting at number 2. And I explained that we did that in order to do staff retention. And so that was kind of important. We had talked through that quite a bit. And then the way that the lottery is chosen, we wanted to reflect the current software that we are using. It should fit nearly any software in the future. So it doesn't quite have such restrictive language. It is a little more broad and a little more open when it comes to that. And also it takes into account how the preferences are done, and how the waiting lists are populated for students who miss lottery, but then apply post lottery.
Thank you. Second read, child find.
Child find, I've updated child find to make sure that it had the same robust expectations that you would see in many other, when it comes to seek and serve. Also, it reflects the policies of the SELPA and the policies for the state of California as well as the federal government.
Any questions? Thank you. Second read, spec complaint. Chris.
And then, like I said, I'll remind you that the sped complaint one, removed the staff complaint version of it. It wasn't appropriately placed inside of that. This is specifically for parents. It gives very clear directions to a parent if they want to file a complaint, whether that's with us, through us. Goes into the ability for us to mediate prior to actually sitting pre-hearing mediation. It gives all the process by which a parent would file a complaint if they have one. It also gives the process by which you respond to complaints to parents as well. This policy was very thin and light and needed to be brought up so that way everyone kind of knows what to do, when to do, and how to do it when it comes to that process. Because it is very technical and is very specific, and it is timeline driven.
Okay, legislative session, nothing on the legislative session. Business services, school services of California.
All right, so, we're asking the board to approve School Services of California contract. School Services of California is another, entity that really supports the business office and the school as a whole. They present, governor's budgets workshops, may revise workshops. They have many, professional development opportunities. They have many tools on their website that help the business office. They also have daily fiscal reports. You're always up to date on what's going on legislatively. One item of note is when we originally requested the cost for annual service, they had it over $4,300, and I was able to get them down to $3,300 a year annually. So I really think that it's a good service. I've used it for 10 years, and it's very helpful in the business. and other parts, attendance and everything.
Okay, so the motion before us is the School Services of California. Any discussions on it?
I'm the motion that we approve the contract for school services in California.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. All right, motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. The next item is, do you want me to speak about also the consolidated application report? So the Con App, as it's the acronym for, is, we report it 2 times a year. This is the fall submission. And basically you are telling the state for your categorical programs for Title I and Title II, how are you going to spend the money? How are you going to reserve the money? And then the board is just supposed to approve the Con App.
So the motion before us is the consolidated application, Con App. Any discussions? Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the consolidated application.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Special Education Student Services. The board is asked to accept the admission enrollment lottery. Any discussions?
Make a motion to accept the admission enrollment lottery.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, the motion in front of us is identification of evaluation of individuals for special education child find. Any discussion? Have a motion?
Motion to approve identification and evaluation of individuals for special education child find.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, the motion in front of us is procedural safeguards and complaints for special education, sped complaint. Any discussion? No? Could I have a motion?
I move to approve the procedural safeguards and complaints for special education.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. Educational services, there's nothing on there. Facilities, maintenance and operations, purchase of teacher laptops for new hires.
Mr. Duarte.
So these laptop purchases will go to our new teacher hires. They'll be replacing substitute laptops that are currently being used from our substitute laptop pool. And just give us, our new teachers, better technology so that they could do their work in their classroom.
This is in our technology plan, right?
Yes, so the plan is every 4 years.
Yeah.
We're just ahead by a few months, maybe.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So. Could I vote? Oh,
I move that we approve the purchase of teacher laptops for new hires.
Second.
Second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion passes. Thank you. Human resources, nothing. All services, nothing. Comments, public comments concerning non-agendized items? Nothing? None? Public comment session is closed. I'd like to adjourn this meeting for a closed session. Convene the Palm Beach Aerospace board meeting. 2 actions were taken. Ms. McIsaac moved to approve the leave request of employee 2024-2025. Mr. Trujillo. Oh, sorry, 2025-01. Mr. Trujillo seconded that motion. The vote went as follows. Mr. Trujillo said aye. Ms. McIsaac, aye. Mr. Brophy said aye. Ms. Simon said aye. And I said aye. Next action taken, Ms. McIsaac moved to accept the recommendation of the expulsion panel to expel student 2024-2025-3. Mr. Trujillo second that motion. The vote went as followed. Mr. Trujillo said aye. Ms. McIsaac, aye. Mr. Brophy, aye. Ms. Simons, aye. And I said aye. Okay. That closed session. So now for reports, Palmdale Aerospace, Teachers Association, right? Nobody here? Palmdale Aerospace Classified Association, rep? No, superintendent report?
Yes, I just want to say thank you to Ms. McIsaac, Mr. Brophy, Ms. Sandoval, Ms. Chavez for putting together the robotics tournament this weekend. It was so much fun to watch. The kids did amazing. It was very exciting. We had some dignitaries there as well, and Mr. Lujan for coming, and Mr. Trujillo as well for coming. I know the two of you, I think Mr. Brophy took probably 10 photographs that day. Every time he saw me, he was like, "Oh." But anyway, it was a wonderful event, and I want to congratulate the students and the teachers and all of you for a job well done. I wanted to let you know that we had 457 students walk out today in a protest, a peaceful protest. I'm proud of our students for being peaceful and doing it respectfully. We alerted parents and families, so just to let you know how many students there were at the middle school and high school only. And this week ASB is focusing on Cupid's love. It's the week of spirit, and next week is the kindness week, and then they're having a Smash Brothers tournament on February 12th at lunch, which I particularly am excited about. So, yeah. That's it.
Thank you. Mr. Trujillo?
I just want to thank the superintendent and all the directors for that great job they did at the Palmdale School Board meeting last week. And anyone else that was involved in helping put that presentation together. You guys did a great job.
Yeah, congratulations on the charter. Thank you to TPAA for hosting that robotics tournament. I think that's a great thing for the school, for our teams and our students here and the whole community. And it was nice to see so many people come out just to watch it and participate. I appreciate it. Everyone in the school for sure, whether it's watch or to.
Yeah, thank you to, staff, all the work really put in. There's too many people to list, even Mr. Ruiz running those middle school robotics kids around and just making sure people got to their places. So helping our students, it was about 30 teams showing up there, and they all appreciate it and they really like the venue. It was a good experience for everyone, and got out on time. Thank you.
Did you?
One of our teams is in the third place alliance too. So, and we get to advance one of our teams to the next level for being hosts
That's in 2 weeks.
in 2 weeks on Sunday. Yeah, it's in Sherman Oaks.
That's it.
So, yeah, and they're excited to go. They're making plans.
I just want to thank everybody, all of the staff, the directors, Ms. Lynch, for the work that was done to get that the charter approved and recommendations for a 5-year contract. So that was a lot of work, a lot of late hours, and I just really appreciate all of that work. Thank you.
Thank you. I also want to thank the superintendent and all the directors for all your hard work on the charter renewal. That it came together really quick, and you guys were super responsive. You guys definitely the A team. Super proud of you guys, and glad to have you on your team. And so I'd also like to just say that during the PSD presentation, I went and spoke, and just super proud of the school and the staff and the students and everybody there. I was sitting there, I was talking to Ellen, and we're just kind of reminiscing on just thinking about all the work that went into this and stuff, the board, the staff, students, teachers, everybody as a whole, like literally came together and put this thing together. So thank the staff, everybody. I think I mentioned on there, the counselors, the custodians, the front office staff. These ladies are amazing. The middle, high school and elementary side, they're the face of the school really, and stuff. So thanks to them, like to thank Mr. Sandoval and his staff for putting the award ceremony. That was a lot of names. I'm not sure if you guys saw the script on that. That was like half a book right there. They kept bringing names off awards. That award ceremony had a lot of names went off like clockwork. So thanks, Dr. Sandoval and all the front office staff out there. Like to thank, Ms. Ramirez for the resource fair. A lot of people came in. The good thing was, Elena was there to promote PK. So she planned for 50 people to come in for PK for this, road to college informational session. And she had 100. So that's definitely a good problem to have. The lady teaching it, her name was Jacqueline Burgess. Actually, her kid graduated, you had a chance to check her, her kid graduated from Aerospace. She attended PK when her kid was here, and now she's teaching it, giving back. So, I mean, Aerospace, it's a family for sure, keeps giving back. That's all I have. All right, call this meeting of the Palm
Make a
Aerospace.
motion to adjourn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Motion adjourned?
Second.
All in favor?
Yeah,
Aye. Call this meeting adjourned at 6:47.